We'll start with the Ganesh Vandana.
स्वस्ति श्री गणनायको गजमुखो पूरेश्वर सिद्धिदः बल्लाळस्तु विनायक स्वधमढे चिन्तामणि सेवरे नीनाद्रौ गिरिजात्मज सुवरदो विघ्नेश्वरश्चोधरे ग्रामे राञ्जन संस्थितो गणपतिः कुर्यात् सदा मङ्गलम् कुर्यात् सदा मङ्गलम् कुर्यात् सदा मङ्गलम्. Thank you.
It has been a really turbulent journey from sitting where you are right now to standing here behind the podium.
A year-long journey full of opportunities to discover the untapped power within us, like sleeping through 2 lectures straight or entering a comatose state after reading just 1 page of BDC. So I welcome you all to your journey, your Shidori 2018. We would now like to felicitate our chief guest, Dr. Shirish. Sir, I request you to come on stage. Thank you, sir. We'd now like to felicitate our Dean, Dr.M.V.L.Kothari Chair. Sir, I request you to come on stage. We now have a screening from the Dr.Manu V.L.Kothari Chair in Division of Medical Humanities, and I'd like to call Prishma Kale for the same.
A good teacher inspires hope, ignites imagination, and instills love of learning. Words fall incapable of describing the love and dedication Dr. Manu Kothari had for his students. Throughout his life, he always endeavored to promote the ideals of humanities. He urged his students to question everything that doubts them. St. G.S.Medical College is blessed to have teachers like him. Today, we assemble here to reminisce the great professor, late Dr. Manu V.L.Kothari. I request to play a video here highlighting the life of Dr. Manu.
hand that makes this institution what it is today. Dr.SUPE sir is a renowned GI surgeon and has been the backbone of this institution and a great supporter of events such as this, which make us all a closely knit family. Sir has won numerous awards, of which he was recently awarded the Dr. B.C. Roy Award, the highest award that can be given to a clinician. I invite Sir to now share a few words with everyone.
Hello, respected teachers, Dr. Shirish, Sheth, Dr. Pandya, Dr. Lopamita, all HODs, all my students. It's a really pleasure to be here for these two programs. One is Shidori and second is Manusmriti. I think many of you may not have seen Dr.Manu V.L.Kothari, and I think it is something I must tell you, you have missed it. Because Dr. Kothari was such a wonderful person and he has so much of impact on all of us. Almost for about 38 years I was a student. And every time I entered his room, I always learned something and went out with him. Whether it was an attitude, whether it was a knowledge, or whether it was something, a warmth which I think I always come out of his room. That is something which you cannot never forget in spite of 4 years have really happened. And today I really feel happy that we are now trying to launch an YouTube channel where we are going to put all the videos of the Humanities cell as well as Dr. Kothari, which will probably you have some glimpse of what Dr. Kothari was. I am sure it is not even the tip of iceberg, it is just a glimpse. You know, the real thing is still, I am sure we will have take years to really understand what it is. Secondly, today also we are going to have a wonderful lecture by Dr. Shirish Sheth on Shidori. I always feel that if I ask you today, what do you really remember what you have learned in 7th or 8th standard or your school? I'm sure you don't remember the classes or what was really taught in those classes. But you remember what was your school, what happened in that school, and how were your teachers. So normally when we take back from the school, it is not the books, not the bookish knowledge, but much more than that. And that is what we personally would like you to give you through the Shidori. Shidori is not a program where we will teach you how to solve MCQs or how which muscle goes where. I mean, we are going to really teach you the real skills of life, which you are going to take back into the society so that you become one of the best clinicians, best doctors, best human beings. So these skill sets which will be imparted to you by our teachers will be a lifelong kind of Shidori, which you will carry home in when you are walking across, when you go back into your practice after a few years. So this is a wonderful attempt which we are doing it for last 25 years and maybe more than that. And it has helped so many students to really achieve much more than what they really expected. So wish you all the best, and I'm sure you will enjoy this program and take lovely memories of that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your eloquent speech. Speaking of family, I would like to introduce Dr. Shirish Sheth, who has spent years under the arches of this institution.
We would now like to announce the release of the app from the Humanities Department.
Hey, Rishi. Okay. Sir, Pandya sir.
Yes, sir. Come, sir. See, times happen, then we can always tell our teachers we love them so much and you have to be part of the whole celebration.
Professor Dr. Shirish Sheth. He's an obstetrician and gynecologist. I'll just read out the degrees he has, okay, and you all will be shocked. He's an MD, he's a FRCOG, FACOG, FACS, FICS, FICOG, FCPS, FAMS, FSOGC. All these are fellowships which he has got, and one person getting so many fellowships.
Dr. Shirish Sheth is one human, but he already won 2 Lifetime Achievement Awards.
So, some of the institutions which he has worked with, he was in KEM and St. G.S.Medical College till 1994. He has worked in Breach Candy, Sefri Hospital. He has been the president of many federations and clubs. And moving on.
This is Dr. Professor Sheth, taking over the presidentship of the International Federation of Gynecology and Obstetrics.
He has presented 345 papers at international and national conferences. He has got 174 scientific publications, and he has lectured at departments of obstetrics and gynecology in 50 different countries. I have not even been to 15 countries. So there are some original contributions of Dr. Sheth to the medical industry, the profession of medicine. He has invented or discovered some of these things, like some techniques to perform some surgeries, and you all may not understand all of this right now, but doing this is really great. And this list is of just 6 of those things. And in all, he has got 11 of his original contributions to medicine, and that is great. And lastly, this is a picture of Sir receiving the 1 Kilo Club Award. This award is given to those surgeons who can remove uteri of 1 kilo or more size vaginally. And you all haven't done abdomen yet, but trust me, a 1 kilogram uterus is big, it's huge. So he has done that. So let's have a round of applause for Shirish. I would like to call upon Shirish
This is like twins. Dean D.R.SUPE, dear colleague Dr.SUNIL Pandya, dear colleague and organizer in multiple ways, Dr. Lopa Mehta, other colleagues who are sitting here, and dear undergraduates. It's indeed a great pleasure to be in Jivraj Mehta Hall. Before it was called MLT and afterwards also, but main lecture theatre, big hall, and it touches sentiments. You are at a different age, I am at a different age, and therefore, after some years you will recollect but love to be here. If I think, I've spent 30 years and 6 months as honorary, and I like to be corrected when I say it is more than anyone else as honorary except query Dr. Arthur Disa. Query, it may be. And therefore, you will appreciate that when you come for 30 years and 6 months religiously, what is your attachment? I'd like to first thank organizers. I'd like to thank Dr. Lopa Mehta and of course the Dean for inviting me to be with you all. It is something touching. Also you find the greetings and best wishes are always there to everyone here. And when it comes to a KM hospital, you find the sentiments change. First of all, I compliment you all to be students of KM Hospital and Seth G.S.Medical College. Indeed, you must be having something to have been selected for this college. It always enjoyed highest reputation. In the days when we were medical college students, there were no private hospitals. It was only KM, JJ and Nair, and that's it. Sion was born 4 years after I became honorary here, and that was later in late 60s. So you find that KM enjoyed an outstanding reputation. 2. Bombay enjoyed an outstanding reputation from amongst the countries. Bombay and Mumbai now is a bit different, but you find, and that KM hospital or medical college, you are the students, so I really compliment you from the bottom of my heart. Napoleon Bonaparte beautifully said, an ability without opportunity is of no avail. One may have plenty, there are plenty of people in our country who have such ability for X item, but they are working like servants for A to Y or A to Z item except X. They have ability, and you obviously had already some ability, 1, to walk into KM hospital. 2, you find that because you are at KM and now you are beginning your medical career as we had begun many years back, what will you imbibe? What will you take from KM? And what you will take, you are going to give to the patients. The profession is outstanding. It used to be, and it is called, a noble profession. Here you have an opportunity to do good to somebody. And through that, therefore, ability to have got this is outstanding. Napoleon in many ways has proved, like when the fight was between his country and Austria, he just showed the Austrians, not Australia, Austrians were 10 minutes late or even 5 minutes. And they defeated Austria, and he clearly said, look at the value of punctuality. 5 minutes difference and Austria loses the war. And that is what really counts when it comes to punctuality. You learn that. It is important. I know that when you are punctual and some things don't happen, doesn't matter. In my life, I religiously practice. When I say my things, we are different. I say with a lot of humility for you to pick up. With punctuality, you pay the price, but does not matter. You get the advantage. And so what Napoleon says is something great. You might say, cricket? No. These guys. Gavaskar was from a simple family. His uncle I knew personally well. Sachin Tendulkar Okay, ordinary, nothing great, fine. From where to where they have risen. Why have they risen? I mean, forget medicine. You take medicine as your something inviting step. They got to play the cricket. I remember in 71 when he went to West Indies, first test not played, then he played and he was outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. Why? He got an opportunity. What? To be in the test team and play. Why? Because what he showed earlier gave him the merit. Sachin, from where to where, he is Bharat Ratna. Again, I don't say any comment on that, but because he loved cricket, he became a great cricketer, and from great cricketer, a recognition, and recognition to the tune of being what? So medicine which you are entering is an entry door. You have come to G.S.Medical College, a great medical college. G doesn't stand for great, but it is a great medical college. And you find that your opportunity, you have to really put it into action when it comes. You might even think of some of the KM. Mind you, I say with apologies to my colleagues, I could not include many people whom I love and I should, but being a gynec, BN and BN Purandare, they are brothers. Great gynecologists. They were both holding one unit. There were only 2 units in gynec. When I joined as assistant honorary, I was a bachu. But joined as assistant honorary, and what fantastic or great operators. There was no laparoscope. Alternative was to open the tummy like a cupboard. Kholo, dekho, But they used to do such good vaginal surgery. Operator to the extent BN got fame here and there. He became president of the World Obstetric and Gynec Federation. And it is like this, when years pass by, people may forget the name. That's what I often say. Then he said that I have talked in 50 countries. If you asked in 49, they might have forgotten my name. They may have that Sheth or Sheth ka Sheth bhi karega. Because English is, but they will remember that guy from Mumbai, that guy from India, that guy from KM. So you honestly are proud to carry KM, Mumbai, India, and what they did in Gynec. We had a surgeon Baliga, again outstanding. No question about his like and strength in the surgery. We had, though came later, Bengali Babu Bhattacharya. He's a cardiac surgeon. If I get today evening and if I need a bypass, I would want Bhatta to operate or lie down on the table for him. He's that great cardiac surgeon in city of Bombay. When people used to go to Cleveland, people used to go to Houston, people used to go to London, and slowly the chapter changed in the country that nobody, almost nobody going out for cardiac surgery because we have some excellent people and Bhatta tops the list. Absolutely outstanding. Ashwin Mehta, just 1 year junior to me, probably Sunil your classmate or 1 year junior to you. Yeah, well, 2 years junior to me from KM. Par excellence. One of the MBBS exams which you may like to know. In exams, what he answered. Examiner said, this is not correct, this is wrong. He said, no sir, very politely. He was also clever otherwise. Sir, this is what I like to. If you check the books and if you check the literature, examiner was wrong and Ashwin was right. You find, and beside being cardiologist to the President of India or Governor of State and blah blah blah, you find origin from where? From King Edward Memorial Hospital and Seth G.S.Medical College. It is also with excellent K.T. Golokya, orthopedic surgeon. If you see, I'll say about it later or I may now, that what counts is when he stands, he was almost 6 footer maybe, or a good height, white clothes, sharp skin only white, and even if he was not a doctor, he looked like a doctor, you know. So you find that he was par excellence orthopedic surgeon. The building near Tata Hospital, same thing continues. So you find these are all AM G.S.Medical College without question. Why have I put this? P.K. Sen was head of the department, surgery. There were no full-timers, almost, if you forgive me. There were only honoraries who would come for 3 to 4 hours or whatever. But there were only honoraries and countable full-timer here and there, and P.K. Sen was one in surgery and a powerful man. And he would take the people to task, and people would begin to think, this is a good post. But that's not the reason I put him here. He was the first in the country from our hospital to do a cardiac transplant, not country but Asia. Now that is something it takes time. You have to indulge, you have to look at the lot of other things happening, but he did the first transplant, well reported in media and everybody knows. Why have I put Indira? Maybe not student from here, but she was here as a resident for a while, assistant prof for a while, head of the department for a while, and therefore in KM she was the first person in the country or Asia to succeed at IVF, in vitro fertilization. You take the sperm of the male, ovum from the female, put them together, and then after fertilization you put into the uterus and the baby comes out. Now this first IVF success we owe to Indira, and it was the KM's ovum. It was done in IRR. Don't ask me whose sperm. It was KM's ovum and the sperm, and you find the success given by Indira. Now here you see two people. Manu Bhai already said. I know Manu Bhai very well because we did 6 months surgery house course together. Excellent co-housemen who would study together, both were a little mad in reading and studying. And where you would look at the patient, where you would think, it is also said nicely, is more of console of the patient's mind, soothing the body. Those are the principles which he would. And I remember when he was first MBBS student, you can slightly correct me if at all, second, he described the clinical sign for the orthopedics. And it was not something likable by the seniors, with due respect. Now you can't ask those seniors because they are unapproachable. But the fact remains that he gave that. The professor and the people were concerned when he said diagnosis something, he was a bit more likely to be correct than even the experienced people. And with that knowledge and totally indulged, devoted, dedicated, involved in the studies, that was Manu V.L.Kothari. Knew his family, his wife, his better half was gynecologist, lady. And Lopa, I knew her from her undergraduate days. While I was a Bachu honorary, assistant honorary, they were exam going, and you don't have to think. People would say there is nothing to think, all the prizes will come to Lopa. First MBBS, second MBBS, final MBBS, university prizes, college prizes, Lopa Mehta. So you find a matter to be proud of, and then she took to anatomy, and believe me, when would ever any anatomy department, if I may put it in the country or the world, would get two people dedicated totally to the subject and not go beyond for the private practice and mint money or etc. and dedicate themselves to the King Edward Memorial Hospital and G.S.Medical College for years and decades, Lopa, and plus involved with all that is good for you people. So indeed, I am very happy that why am I presenting them? Why am I talking or giving the name? This is what AEM can give you. It is up to you. You have an opportunity, as the Napoleon said, and you have to get out of it. After 5.5 years, you will become a doctor. Keep a vigilant eye. You must enjoy, you must do all other things also, but at the end of 5.5 years, doctor must look like a doctor. Very often, blue jeans, lovely to wear. Green shirt, beautiful to wear. No stethoscope, you can't make out who is he. Till he hangs the stethoscope, he becomes doctor. So that's not, I do feel when you are with the patient, your doctor must look a doctor. I say with humility, I have a lot of social life. When I take my, when I take my evening round, I go, of course jacket is not there, but simple Bombay weather. I go and I think you present yourself as doctor. And from the Bridge Candy Hospital, if I have to go somewhere to Nepean Sea Road, Sunil and Rupa, believe me, in car I change my dress for the evening party. And my driver is immune and he's used to seeing, and I change as if I am not a doctor and I am there for the evening party. I say with humility because I want you to pick up the things which are important and one must. Doctor not only must look like a doctor, must behave like a doctor. His nature, because our people are ignorant, innocent. Education is poor, KM hospital and outside. They put immense faith. I remember when I was, I remember, forget me, but I remember somebody was doing practice just early year, first year of practice, looking, or let me say honestly, it was, I was going to Ahmedabad for MBBS examiner and I had just done 2 days back a prolapse hysterectomy, removal of the uterus, and I told patient, when I came back, he said, sir, where were you? I said, well, I had gone to Ahmedabad and I had gone for MBBS exams. I didn't expect. Doctor, I'm sorry to say, Marathi translate. तुमचा स्वभाव छान है, તમે સારા સ્વભાવના ડોક્ટર છો. થેન્ક યુ બેન. નહીં મારા તો તમને આશીર્વાદ છે, તમે MBBS માટે ગયા ને તમે પાસ થઈને જ આવશો. I was flabbergasted. 2 days back, she lies down on the table, gets hysterectomy done by me, and after 2 days, Now, what I'm trying to tell you is, honestly, this is from, you must have learned from physiology, bundle of Lewis. Have you? Yes. The KM and GS comes from my bundle of Lewis. Okay? And this, when you say, you mean it, because patients are innocent, they can be driven to wrong treatment. They can be driven to wrong appendicectomy, wrong hysterectomy, wrong blah, blah, blah. But our profession is such that we need to do what is really best. Lord Mayo beautifully said, the interest of the patients are the only interest to be considered. And therefore, when you look at this, as a doctor, we must be presentable, we must talk nicely, they must feel happy, and we go further. William Austin, you must remember him. I think long back on the canteen wall it was written. Is it still there? Yes? Yeah. William also beautifully said, I was saying for years and after they wrote, but nothing to do with me. William also liked to study the medicine from without books. To study the medicine from without, keep aside the anatomy, I don't know which one you have. We used to have Gray's anatomy and Sampson and Wright physiology. Forget it. chapter of the past. To study the medicine from without books is like sailing an uncharted sea. But to study the medicine only from books is like not going to sea at all. And that is what William Osler beautifully puts, and that you have to remember. The books, learning from the books, learning from the patient, knowing it without books, and so on. Benjamin Bloom. What did he say? In University of Chicago till trial, they had the team, they had the undergraduates, they had the students. And at the end, what did they find? The leader of the team, the Bloom, found there were people who were experts, like somebody from you, Inter Science first class first, somebody from you, SSC first class first, blah blah blah, etc. Now, such top people and those who thought they're really something and they're bright, they did not stand first. It was not that talent which was thought of, but it was the drive. You want to do something. You want to reach there. Where there is a will, there is a way. Believe me, you must have an objective. You must have a goal. If you aim at the sky, you reach the top of the tree. Does not matter, great. So you find that he beautifully had a drive in Chicago, and he came to conclusion, it is not the talent. Some of you might think, nahi, main itna bright nahi hu. No, it is your drive. You are somebody who can cross the limits. There is no question, So without iota of doubt, certainly one can. One may have stood first class first, that does not mean anything. There are a number of examples, and I also keep an eye on the watch, and therefore I would say that, but remember, every one of you, the drive is not difficult. Talent may be different. Something is God-given. Our grey cells, God-given. Our drive, our own will, our psychology, our aim, our goal. And therefore, if you look at that, certainly you will in the second MBBS, third MBBS, and after that achieve what you want. People think great about certain people, but look at that in the past. You look at the Shakespeare, his father was simple wool merchant, not anything to do with what Shakespeare gave. Simple wool merchant. Abraham Lincoln, President of USA, who were farmer. I can expand on each one. Abraham Lincoln failed the election for Senate. He failed the election in the legislature. He stood against for Senate, he failed. Couple of them. He stood for the vice presidentship of United States of America. He failed, lost the election. He stood as the president, he won the election, and I think in 1860 he was the president of United States. Something fantastic. Now, failure does not mean, it is also said the failures are pillars of success. It does not mean you must go on failing. Because I want a pillar. No, not that way. But failures are pillars, and look at these people. Genius, Newton, you all know, but failed earlier very easily in exams. Failed at the entrance exam, Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein was asked to become the president or prime minister of his country, I think Israel or that side. And he said no. And they said, sir, how can you say no? He says, I have brain but for something else and not for what you want. Look at that, outstanding, None of our prime minister, president, minister says so. So you find that is what we had in Albert Einstein and what he gave to the world. Fantabulous. So you go further. You may like him. Kaun Banega Karodpati, channel number 128, Tata Sky. Huh? I'm not advertising for them. Please don't catch bull by the tail. a candidate for the news broadcasting when he had applied, he was rejected. This is the fact. From the news media, I have many years back kept it carefully, never knew I will give it in MLT. But also told that with his obnoxiously long name, he would never be famous. Now what's the lesson? Why am I telling? Don't go by the people that way. Somebody said something absurd, forget you know what you are, what you have, what you can, what you can't, draw a line. But this is what people thought of Amitabh Bachchan, and today without being biased, if you have to really think of one actor who is par excellence, heads and heels above others, it is Amitabh. Other one, I think, Seth, he tried once to give this program of Kaun Banega Crorepati. Shah Rukh Khan, yes, Khan, not Shah Rukh Khan. And no comment, I have nothing against anyone, nothing, but there was no comparison. So you find, and what did people think? My God, broadcasting post rejected. So don't think in life that in case one gets rejected, no, I am this, I have this, I will work harder, but I will get it. You look at further Bernard Shaw, what did he say? When I was young, everyone knows George Bernard Shaw. When I was young, I observed that 9 times out of 10 I failed. 9 out of 10. What did he do? I did not want to be failure, I worked 10 times more. Whatever we have all witnessed, work more and make up. Dictionary is the only place where the success comes before work. But you put in, and if you put in hard work, it's nicely said, you know, it's nicely said if you understand. रंग लाती है मेहंदी, रंग लाती है मेहंदी हाथ पे, पत्थर पर खिसाने की, और after rubbing on the stone. It has been rubbed and rubbed and rubbed on the stone. We must get rubbed and rubbed and rubbed, not on the stone, and you find the better out of you will come out. And so, Mehendi lati hai rang, after all that. So he said, work more, work 10 times more, and you get, work hard. Now when you take that, you find, now this is different, you may have your mentor, you may have a mentor right from your teachers, it may be from another medical college, it may be from south of India, it may be from elsewhere, because you see in him what you want, and what you can, and what you really care to give to the patient. I had somebody, I looked at the teachers who looked at in totality interest of the patient. Hippocrates has beautifully said, you cannot treat the patient's disease till you treat the patient's mind. If mentally she feels what doctor is doing great and correct, etc., physical response will come. So you find this is really important, and you are going to be doctor. You are going to be work as a doctor and patient and learn from this hospital. Where do you ever get chance to learn so much? I got from KEM. Sunil bhai got from KEM. Lopa, so many of you, and KEM anatomy. Why? Because KEM gives the herds and herds of patients, and we learn from our patients. We make a mistake. It is said the wise man learns from the mistake. It is said wise man learns from the mistake, but it is also said wiser man learns from others' mistake. Whatever, but you learn from that, and you turn over the patient, number of them, see them, try to make the diagnosis, try to look at what exactly, how to be reacting with the patient, and history taking, very important. Today, people depend on CT scan and MRI, which is totally wrong. Totally wrong. you must take a history. In fact, in good old days, including this and at the Oxford, very nicely said 75% of the diagnosis can be made from the history. It was very nicely seen. Then you examine and you come to diagnosis 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2 or 1, 4 and then take help of investigation, and that's what you learn from KM. Nobody is going to take you to the court. America is different. Don't go by American friend. The people who are happy in India, mind you, I am not saying about you personally, those who are happy and comfortably placed in India are, believe me, happier than the people in America or elsewhere. Because here you can do everything, you can have servant, you can have so much of facilities that they have to really hunt for or pay for. I'm not saying against or in favor, but you find this hospital gives you an opportunity to learn and learn from the patients. Very, very vital. You have an opportunity. Don't feel shy. The batch is standing, teacher is telling, you are shy to speak something. No. This is the place to make mistakes. This is the place to speak out. This is the place to open out. Doesn't matter, whatever, because this life and what I was in first MBBS, how lousy I was, you would never know. Or how good I was, you never know. What counts is later on. So learn to speak, and public speaking is very important. Somebody speaks out well, oh, so nice. Somebody gets the votes, there is an election because of the lovely speech, you know. So speaking, you learn from the medical college. Doesn't matter, 2 are little inferior, 2 of your friends, teach them. Go to the museum together or take a specimen, tell them something. So this is teaching is very vital, and language. It is really unfortunate, I am not a politician. It is really unfortunate that country does not have one common language. Nehru tried and failed, and that failure is unacceptable. Whole country, we are Indians, our heart India, and we should have one common language. You go to Tamil Nadu and speak in Hindi, nobody answers. You speak in English, they may not. Why can't country? We are Indians. We have 2 deficits. We one don't have common language. 2, one we don't have common God. મારી તો આ માતા છે, મારો તો સત્યનારાયણ છે, મારો તો કૃષ્ણા છે, મારો તો શ્રીનાથજી છે. નહીં નહીં, મારા તો સાઈ બાબા છે. My foot. I mean, we must have, and that's the way the Muslim colleagues, Allah, one Islamic dharma, one banner, and then things may differ. But we have, that's the minus, and public speaking therefore is important. English is important. Some of you, if you feel English is not, you ask seniors. Moment you go at some places without English, you are in difficulty. You go abroad and they say, oh, our Indians are speaking good English. How Chinese have picked up now. Chinese did not know. We were 1+ on them. Earlier my years I knew what China was. I'd gone long back in 85 also to give some buck and all that. But you find China picked up now English language, that some of the Chinese are speaking such good English, and that is required when you go to UK, you go to European country, more than that you go to America, and therefore speak up. You know, long back there used to be an excellent colleague and a teacher, Dr. Shidori, and Japanese patient went to him. Why? She wanted a child. She was married for 5 years and went for consultation to Dr. Shirokar, and Shirokar took the history and said, she said, I want, and said, okay madam, please lie down, because we tell patient to lie down, then we examine. So he said, because language problem, he said, please lie. He says, no sir, I want Japanese baby. What I'm telling you is the language problem. And therefore, pick up your English. You must know in Maharashtra excellent Marathi. Patient, I have learned Marathi from patient. तुम्हाला काय पाहिजे? तुमची पिशवी कुठे? नाही ते will say अंग बाहेर येते. Ang is different, you know, outside. पण अंग बार येते म्हणजे पिशवी बार येते. पिशवी म्हणजे आपण से थैली आणि शाकभाजी रखो. नो, पिशवी म्हणजे uterus. So you find it is something you learn Marathi, English, Hindi and Gujarati because we have lots of Gujus also. But you must learn the language and not be in difficulty without question. While you are here, if you are great and if you are good, play the game and show and bring the KM to first, defeats GMC, defeats Nair, defeats this one, whatever. That side by side you have to have. Whatever, it may be cricket, it may be tennis, it may be badminton, but you must develop that sports interest, know cricket, etc. or some game by heart, and you can play, you involve physically good exercise, physically good, it brings you up, physically good pastime. Even in the later years, we Sunil Pandya, Lopa, if you want pastime and if you are playing some game like that, it becomes a small good pastime. So you find this is the place to learn and go further. And what population we have. What population? You know, I had a talk in China. I say with humility because my talk was certain thing. What I was telling was you learn from the patients. You learn from the uterus, learn from the patients. So Chinese asked a question which is translated. So my point was to them when they asked a question. I said, tell me, in which country there are more uteruses than in China? Uterus समझला ने? Huh? No country has more heart than in China. No country has more heart except China than in India. How can we not learn cardiac surgery? And litigations are minimal compared to United States. So you find our population helps. Must at the same time, I'm doctor, I'm too busy. No mommy, for me is vichara simple. No, you must have love for parents. It is the parents who brought you to this world. And we must take care of their likes, dislikes, do's and don'ts. Similarly, brother and sister, and similarly, we have four colleagues very close right from first MBBS, and believe me, in 2015, and we met earlier. One is settled in Vancouver, one is in Bombay, and one is in Karnataka, and we met for 6 days in Vancouver in 2015. And those were all MBBS. I was dissecting axilla, other one was dissecting foot or something like that, and develop friendship, and this is the place to develop without question. Hippocrates, I say once again, is so vital. You must understand that you have to treat the patient's mind. Talent that you have is God's gift to you. These 5.5 years in anatomy begins. You must know which part of the body is where. When we are doing surgery, when I am operating, I must know the close relations. Other day I heard, it was very interesting, Sunil and Lopa, that in one medical college, I guess not here, तिकडे असं सांगत होता की ते फ्लेक्सर कार्पी रेडियलिस आहे ने ते हातमध्ये असतं आणि त्यांची बाजूमध्ये ये मसल ने ये टेंडन येते. Medical college. Now no detail, I also recently didn't ask, but it's not. You must know in Marathi, but you have to practice globally with the patient, different parts, etc. And therefore the science has to be learned in its original language. And so your talent is God's gift to you. What you do with it is really your gift to the God. Gandhi has very nicely said, I'm finishing in a minute, men often become what they believe themselves to be. We can become what we believe to be. Some people, my father was an eminent pediatrician, and people ask me, why did you not take pediatrics? I said, I did not want a single patient from him. In fact, I would deliver and give a newborn child to him and do the examination, but I didn't want to do that, or people would, because anything you do, people will say, એ તો એના બાપા pediatrician છે ને એટલે કર્યું છે. No. So, I believe I cannot do something makes me incapable. If I believe ये नहीं होएगा, नहीं होएगा. But when I believe I can, then I really acquire this 5.5 years, this 1.5 year to begin with, the ability to do it. Because I believe that I can. And even if I did not have that ability, it will have its beginning now. So that's what beautifully put by Mahatma Gandhi. And further, as you see, Columbus, think of Columbus. Had he turned back after 65 days in the boat of an uncharted sea, 65 days, कुछ नहीं आता है, कुछ नहीं दिखता है, पानी दिखता है. No one would have blamed him, but nobody would have remembered him. No one would have remembered him. Even if you have a good excuse for giving up, remember that all the records go to those, all the good happenings, outcome goes to those who stick to until they get what they want. So you develop your mind, what you want. You are undergraduate, you are medical college, beautiful. Sheth G.S.Medical College and KM Hospital, lovely opportunity, Napoleon says, and you have an opportunity of KMGS, and expand your things in the coming time and coming years, and that is what one wants for the country, for the people of Mumbai, people of surrounding, because it's a great profession. I'd like to sincerely thank all of you for listening to me. Thank you.
So thank you so much for your wonderful insight and your wise words.
So we have got 2 tokens of appreciation for you. One from the students of GS and one from the M.V.L.Kothari Chair and Division of Humanities. Thank you, sir.
I would now like to call my fellow hosts for Shidori on stage.
नमस्कार से गोर्धनदास सुंदरदास वैद्यकीय महाविद्यालय व केयम रुग्णालय प्रस्तुत शिदोरी या